I would like to hear you guys' opinion on midstream energy limited partnerships. Do you have past experience with them? Are they too risky under the current market conditions? How reliable are the dividend yields for the long term? This is particularly pertinent because those yields are like, what, 10, 20% right now?
Well, depending on where you look at in the space. It is a rather broad stroke question in the fact that are they risky? I think when you say that, it really depends on who you're looking at. And so
who are the risky people? Just a couple of names. Who are the...
Well, I would say I think one of the general things that you should look for when you're looking to purchase a midstream limited partnership, I wouldn't say that it is a risky environment now. I think of all the investments you can make in the oil and gas space, that is one of the lower risk opportunities. And one of the reasons for that is that when it comes to infrastructure, most of the stuff that they do is based on long-term fee-based contracts. And that's the thing that you really want to look for. A company that has 80 to 90% of their revenue or profits generated from these fixed fee contracts,
they're a toll collector.
Yeah.
Game over.
Yeah. And you're just basically sitting there and we're, buying the cash hoard. For those that are a little bit more levered to prices, people who are probably more focused on gathering and processing, you might see a little bit more variability in that cash flow, which could make them a little bit shakier. And I think you can see some of the dividend yields of those companies showing that as of late. So, if for Jonathan, I wouldn't completely avoid the sector as, in that broad stroke sort of way. Look at the structure of the company. How do they generate their revenue? And, make your decision from there, because I think there are a lot of opportunities in lower risk opportunities in that space that are very attractive right now.
Taylor, are there any names that come to mind that you like right now?
Right now, probably the bigger the better. Kinder Morgan's taken a big hit lately. Personally, we recommend.
What's the yield on that? Is it like 6,
7.5?
Seven?
7 right now.
Yeah, it took a hit over the last month or so. I know it's a full favorite in a lot of services. Spectra Energy is a recommendation in Stock Advisor Canada on our U.S. side of the scorecard. That's probably one of my favorites. I personally own that as well.
Now they're mostly natural gas, right?
Correct, and they're not nationwide. Or even in Canada, they have a small presence in Canada along the Great Lakes, but predominantly East Coast all the way down to the Gulf. And yeah, like you mentioned, natural gas is the bulk, and natural gas liquids are the bulk of their business. And then one thing, obviously, you want to find a good company, but then you have to take into account the tax implications, the K-1 form you have to file. Long term, this could be advantageous because you're kind of deferring some taxes, but when you sell it, there's tax implications on the units that you own. So you definitely want to kind of understand that a little bit more. I guess Spectra Energy isn't really an MLP, is it? They own MLPs.
Neither is Kinder Morgan.
Yeah, they used to
They're
be.
both
Sorry.
C corps. We just recommended 2 C corps when talking about limited partnerships.
I guess that gives you my feeling on it. I guess
Enterprise Products Partners?
Enterprise Products.
Yeah, there we go.
That gives you my opinion of MLPs. I don't personally care for them all that much just because of the added tax structure.
Right.
But there are companies like
Don't be
Spectra,
lazy, Taylor.
Don't be Spectra Energy or Kinder Morgan if you want an infrastructure company without having to deal with the MLP.
K1s, yeah.
As somebody who owns them, one of the things I would recommend is you buy to own. You don't buy to trade in any way because of the weird tax things in terms of dividend recaptures and, like you said, the K1. If you're buying it and just holding it forever, you have to fill out an extra form come tax time. It's not a huge deal.
But
if you're moving in and out of these positions,
we know.
It can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
These is definitely things you give your grandkids kind of stuff.
Yeah, that sort of thing.